Here's a question I want you to think about. If you could go back to 2001 and buy on Palm Jumeirah before a single hotel was open, before a single restaurant existed, before anyone had actually lived there, would you? Of course you would. Everyone would. Well, that window does not exist on Palm Jumeirah, but I am going to show you today why a very similar window on a much bigger island, built by the same developer, backed by the same government with 20 years of lessons applied, is open right now, and why one specific project on that island might be the most interesting access point Nakheel has released on Palm Jebel Ali to date. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will understand exactly what this project is, what it costs, how the payment plan works, and most importantly, whether it actually makes sense as an investment. Now, before I show you a single price or a single floor plan, I need to give you the context that most people covering this project, they skip entirely. Palm Jumeirah was the prototype. It was extraordinary, but it was the first attempt at something nobody had ever done before. And like any first attempt, it had its problems, and they only became obvious once the people were actually living there. The fronds were narrow, privacy between neighbouring villas was limited, the water circulation between the fronds, it was problematic in the early years. Nakheel openly acknowledged this. The traffic onto and off the island ran through the single trunk, the bottleneck that Palm Jumeirah residences still deal with today. And the density, towers along the trunk, villas tightly packed on the fronds, meant that for all its waterfront prestige, it was never quite the sanctuary it looked like in the brochure. Palm Jebel Ali is built on 20 years of that learning, and the differences are structural, not cosmetic. The gaps between each frond are larger. They're designed using an advanced model specifically to solve water circulation problems that the original Palm experienced. The island has multiple planned access points instead of a single trunk choke point. Plots are larger, gardens are 30% bigger than comparable Dubai developments, solar-powered infrastructure, smart irrigation using 30% less water, eco-friendly transport corridors running through the spine. This is not Dubai building the same thing twice. This is Dubai building it properly the second time round, and with every lesson from the prototype has been applied. And the scale makes Palm Jumeirah look small. 10.5 million square meters. That is twice the size of Palm Jumeirah. 16 fronds, 110 kilometers of new coastline, and 91 kilometers of new beachfront. Space for 35,000 families, over 80 hotels and resorts are planned on the crescent. But here is one thing I want you to hold in your head before we go any further, because this is the most important sentence of the entire video. Dubai's coastline is limited. 91 kilometers of new beachfront, the single largest addition of waterfront to Dubai that will ever happen. Once this island is complete, that supply is gone forever. Every square meter of genuine waterfront in this city commands a premium, because serious buyers globally understand that you cannot manufacture more of it. Emaar Beachfront sold out. Dubai Islands is transacting at the 4th highest volume in the city. Palm Jumeirah villas are up 37% year on year. Palm Jebel Ali is not a waterfront project. It is the last waterfront project. And right now, it is still priced at approximately 60% below comparable Palm Jumeirah products at a price per square foot. And that gap does not last forever. It never does. And directly alongside this island is something that most people have not seen yet. Sheikh Hamdan recently approved the master plan for the Palm Jebel Ali Beach Development project, a 6.6 kilometer public beach running alongside Palm Jebel Ali's footprint. Designed as one of Dubai's most premium recreational coastal destinations, with priority on environmental preservation, marine wildlife, and local ecosystems. Think about what Kite Beach did for that part of Dubai. It went from a quiet stretch of coastline to one of the most visited, most photographed, most sought after lifestyle destinations in the entire city. Property values in the surrounding area, they obviously moved with it. The restaurants followed, the cafes followed, the weekend crowds followed, and the people who were already in that area, before all of that arrived, they benefited from every single part of it. That is the exact blueprint being applied here. 6.6 kilometers, government master plan, government funded, right alongside Palm Jebel Ali. The government is not just building the island, it is building an entire coastal lifestyle corridor around it. The buyers getting into Palm Jebel Ali now are buying into a waterfront location that is being surrounded by government invested infrastructure on every single side. That is the same story that played out on Palm Jumeirah, and now we all know how that ended. Now, Palm Central Private Residences. Palm Central Private Residences Phase 2 launched on the 24th of June 2026. And I want to flag something before I get into the details. This is Phase 2. There will be further buildings coming and further phases coming onto this spine, which means two things. The buyers in Phase 2 are ahead of the buyers who will come in Phase 3 and Phase 4. And the pricing you were looking at today will not be the pricing that future phases launch at. Every phase on a major Nakheel project that has launched before, they launch at a little bit of a premium to the one before it. That pattern is consistent and it is worth understanding before you look at the numbers. This is Nakheel's latest release on the island, and it is a different product to the front villas entirely. 3 residential buildings on the spine of Palm Jebel Ali, 222 apartments and townhouses, contemporary stepped architecture, 1, 2, 3 and 4 bedroom apartments. The interiors are designed specifically around the coastal setting. Natural materials, soft tones, contemporary finishings, open plan layouts, generous glazing throughout, double height living areas in larger units, selected residents include maid's room and spacious terraces. Now, if we look at the amenities, because this is where Palm Central genuinely earns the word private. It has a private beach, an infinity pool, clubhouse, fitness studio, gym, yoga studio, games room, indoor and outdoor children's play areas, paddle courts, beach volleyball, event lawn, barbecue areas, landscape relaxation zones, beach lounge. This is not an apartment building next to the sea. This is a gated resort community on the island that is going to define Dubai's waterfront for the next generation. And here is the pricing, word for word from Nakheel's official fact sheet. 1 bedroom starts at 827 square feet and they are from 2.7 million dirham. 2 bedroom from 1,215 square foot and they are from 4.3 million dirham. 2 bedroom plus maid, 1,466 square feet from 4.9 million dirham. 3 bedroom, it is starting from 2,039 square feet from 7.5 million dirham. And 4 bedroom, it is from 3,269 square feet from 12.4 million dirham. The estimated completion of this project is September 2030, and that works perfectly for when everything else is going to be handed over around it. The payment plan on Palm Central is structured in a way that I think is genuinely important for investors to understand, because it changes the cash flow picture significantly. For 1 and 2 bedrooms, it is 20% on booking and then small stage payments every 5 to 6 months through the construction period, and only 30% on completion in September 2030. For the 3 and 4 bedrooms, it is the same 20% on booking, the same stage construction payments, but here you can pay 40% on completion. What that means in practice is 1 bedroom at 2.7 million. Your booking deposit is 540,000 dirham and you pay 70% in stage installments over the 4 years, and 30%, which is 810,000 when you receive the keys in 2030. You are controlling a Palm Jebel Ali address on the island that will become Dubai's most defining waterfront, while the majority of your capital stays in your hand during the build. That is a very different proposition to buying Palm Jumeirah secondary market today at full price cash up front into a already mature market. Connectivity from Palm Central, if we look at the confirmed Nakheel's own fact sheet, you'll get into Blue Waters Island in 23 minutes, DWC Airport in 25 minutes, the Mall of Emirates in 27 minutes, and Palm Jumeirah in 28 minutes. A dedicated 5-kilometer access road connects Palm Jebel Ali directly to Sheikh Zayed Road. This is not a remote island. It is on Dubai's primary corridor, with the entire city accessible within 30 to 40 minutes. Let me leave you with this. The people who bought on Palm Jumeirah before it was finished did not buy a completed island. They bought a vision, backed by the government with a track record and a balance sheet to deliver it. They were bought before the Atlantis and before Nobu, before any of it existed. The ones who waited until it was finished paid 3 to 4 times the price. Palm Jebel Ali is not Palm Jumeirah. It is larger. It is better designed. It is built on 20 years of lessons, and it is backed by the same developer and the same government that delivered every major waterfront project this city has ever built. Palm Central Private Residences puts you on that island for 2.7 million dirham. You have a private beach, resort amenities, Nakheel quality. Payment is structured so your biggest check only arrives when the keys due in 2030. 91 kilometers of new beachfront, and the last major coastal expansion Dubai will ever build. And right now, it is still 60% below Palm Jumeirah pricing if we look at a price per square foot basis. The window that existed on Palm Jumeirah in 2001 does not come around often. And when it does, the people who recognized it early, they are the ones who look back and say that they got it right. If you want to know the floor plans, unit availability, and have an honest conversation about whether this actually makes sense for your timeline and budget, please fill out the form in the description. I will come back to you personally and let's have a chat. Please do like and subscribe this video. It really does help me keep making content like this. And as always, I'll see you on the next one.